she's always been very polite to everyone. She's never been rude to anyone.
One of the problems was that she kept...
I take my time and say, sound out the words.
Oh my God, you're not even ready for this one. Meghan Markle's childhood best friend just went viral. And not for something cute or wholesome either. Nope. People are literally out here claiming she doesn't exist. Yes, I'm serious. Nanaki Pretty, the girl who's known Meghan since they were toddlers, had to go online to defend her own existence because the internet went full-blown conspiracy mode. Can you imagine? Years of friendship, a lifetime of memories, and suddenly strangers are acting like you're a made-up character in a royal soap opera. And let me tell you, her response? Absolutely chef's kiss iconic. Apparently, I'm not me, she said. Who's been living my memories then? Mic, drop. But here's where it gets crazy. This isn't just some silly internet drama. What's happening to Nanaki right now? It's pulling the curtain back on something way bigger about Meghan's past.
Graduating class of 2020. For the past couple weeks, I've been...
And I just know, somewhere out there, Prince Harry is watching all of this unfold with absolute horror, because if there's anyone who knows Meghan's real story, it's Nanaki. And what she knows? Oh, it's wild. So buckle up. Grab your tea, because we're diving deep into the kind of royal gossip that keeps Buckingham Palace up at night. Before we get into why people are trying to erase this woman from history, let's talk about who she actually is. We're not talking about some Hollywood acquaintance Meghan met at a charity gala. No, no, no. Nanaki has been in Meghan's life since they were 2 years old. 2 years old. Let that sink in. Most of us can't even remember what happened at that age, but these two? They grew up side by side, playing in sandboxes, first days of school, awkward middle school crushes, high school drama. They weren't just friends, they were practically family. This is the kind of bond where you don't need to explain anything, because the other person already knows every detail of your story. They were there, living it with you. There are pictures, and not just a few grainy Polaroids. We're talking decades of memories captured.
The last time this happened, it didn't really end well, and this is the problem for Meghan Markle. Seemingly each and every time.
Birthdays, sleepovers, random everyday hangouts, the kind of authentic, unfiltered moments you can't fake, even if you tried. And oh, there's that one photo, teenage Meghan and Nanaki standing outside Buckingham Palace. Just two girls on a trip, one of them unknowingly standing in front of the palace she'd one day walk into as a duchess. I mean, come on, that's movie-level foreshadowing. Back then, she had no idea what was coming. No clue that years later she'd live the fairy tale and then watch it all unravel in real time. Royal biographer Tom Bower dug into their friendship for his book. This isn't just tabloid nonsense. Bower's the guy who goes deep. Real sources, real stories, and royal commentator Pina, she literally went out of her way to vouch for Nanaki. Face-to-face conversations, real proof. Pina basically told the world, stop making up drama. She's real. So when random people online start screaming she doesn't exist or their friendship was fabricated, it's honestly laughable. Like, what's next? They're going to say Tom Bower invented her too?
So he's a very complicated, depressed, unintelligent man who is seeking a...
That level of denial is ridiculous. But this friendship isn't just a cute backstory. It's the key to understanding who Meghan was before the palace gates opened. Nanaki didn't meet her on a red carpet. She was there for the messy, unpolished years, before the polished image, before the PR machine, before Meghan Markle became Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. She saw the ambition take root. She saw the drive. She saw how relationships, personal and professional, were handled. She saw the real, raw Meghan, which is why what happened next hurts even more. Because when you've been there since diapers, when your friendship has decades of shared history, walking away doesn't happen by accident. This friendship didn't slowly fade away like most childhood bonds. It ended like a switch being flipped. One moment, everything was fine. The next, decades of history. Gone. Just like that. And you know when it happened? Right when Meghan's relationship with Harry started heating up. That's when the disappearing act began. Old friends, long-time connections. One by one, they started vanishing from her life. Quietly, cleanly, and Nanaki? She was one of the biggest losses. The girl who'd known her longer than anyone found herself shut out with no explanation. No blow-up fight, no public feud. Just gone. Erased from the narrative like she'd never been part of it.
Meghan Markle plans to leave Prince Harry to become a billionaire and run for the governor of California.
And here's the kicker. He believes her next...
Now think about that for a second. You don't just erase a friend who's known you your entire life without a reason. This isn't unfollowing someone on Instagram. This is someone who was there before your first memory, and Meghan just cut the cord. And here's the kicker. Nanaki knew the version of Meghan the world never got to see. Not the perfect duchess with the practiced smile. Not the activist in front of cameras. She knew knew Meghan before the performance began. When someone like that exists, they're a walking contradiction to the new narrative.
The royals own me. Harry owes me. Meghan owes me.
Meghan Markle's a
Nanaki had 30 years of unfiltered memories. She knew the little details, the private stories, the things that don't fit a carefully constructed royal image. And when someone's trying to control their story, people like Nanaki become a problem. So yes, that friendship ending wasn't a coincidence. It was a decision. And here's the thing, Nanaki isn't alone. She's just the one in the spotlight because of how long they were friends. But if you look closely, there's a pattern. People who knew Meghan before the royal wedding, before the Netflix deals, before the glossy image, they all seem to end up on the outside. Like there's a line drawn between before Harry and after Harry.
What if the tears you saw weren't real? What if grief, something sacred, raw, and painfully human?
And Harry? He had to have noticed, right? All these people one by one disappearing. How do you not ask why your fiancé's lifelong best friend suddenly isn't around anymore? Naki didn't just sit quietly on the sidelines while the world forgot she existed. Oh no, this woman had stories to tell. Real, lived-in, decades-long stories that give everyone a very different picture of Meghan Markle. According to Naki, Meghan wasn't just another little girl daydreaming about Disney princesses. Oh, she studied that world. She was obsessed with it. The castles, the crowns, the fairy tale weddings. Every single bit of it. That famous teenage photo outside Buckingham Palace? That wasn't just a tourist shot. That was Meghan staring straight at the world she desperately wanted to be part of one day.
Meghan Markle just experienced one of the most humiliating nights of her post-royal life, and it all went down at what was supposed to be a
And that's what makes this whole situation so chilling. Because if Meghan had dreamed about being part of that royal world for years, cutting off people from her before life starts to look a whole lot less accidental and a whole lot more strategic. Naki said it herself. Meghan didn't just approach relationships emotionally, there was planning involved, strategy. She thought several steps ahead. Who could open doors? Who could help? And when a relationship had done its job, snip, done, next. We saw it play out with Trevor Engelson, Meghan's first husband. Naki was there for the whole thing. From the broke actress hustling through auditions, surviving on determination and caffeine, to the moment Suits changed everything. Trevor was her rock during those struggling years. But the second her career took off, that marriage ended as cleanly as a business contract. It's a pattern. Friendships, romances, connections, they all had an expiration date once they stopped serving the next chapter of her story. And for Naki, someone who thought 30 years of history meant something, getting tossed aside like an old prop? Brutal. While Meghan's reinventing herself over and over, Naki's out here fighting conspiracy theories about whether she's even real. Can you imagine the emotional whiplash? Watching the world praise someone you once shared juice boxes and inside jokes with, while strangers accuse you of being a made-up character? And Meghan, she's been floundering to find her big comeback. Remember American Riviera Orchard? Her grand lifestyle brand reveal. Jam jars, honey, fresh produce baskets, California chic. Everyone thought this was going to be the reinvention moment. But what happened? Confusion, mockery, crickets. Nobody knew what she was actually selling. The podcast, gone. The Netflix content, barely made a ripple, big announcements, little delivery. And while her ventures are collapsing like a house of cards, her past is rising up louder than ever. Tom Bauer's research, Naki's viral defense, old friends whispering behind the scenes, it's all catching up. This is where the image and the reality start clashing head on. Meghan crafted this spotless, glowing picture of herself. Misunderstood woman, humanitarian heart, victim of the big bad royal machine. But people who actually knew her, their stories don't match the script. There's a trail of discarded people stretching back years. Family members, old colleagues, longtime friends, they all say some version of the same thing. She gets close, she uses the relationship for what it's worth. Then when it no longer fits the narrative, she's gone. And here's where Harry comes in. Oh, Harry, this man gave up everything. Titles, uniform, his home, his family, because he believed the dream Meghan sold him. She painted this fantasy of freedom, that outside the royal system, they'd be bigger, louder, unstoppable, global icons, humanitarian power couple. But reality hit different. Now he's in Montecito, watching brand launches flop, watching once adoring media turn skeptical, watching people from Meghan's past speak louder than ever. And he can't say a word, because admitting it out loud would mean admitting he bet everything on a story that isn't real anymore. He torched the royal bridges. He told the world his family was toxic, cruel, oppressive. He made it about love conquering all. How does he walk that back now? He can't. And every time someone like Naki speaks up, Harry's silence gets heavier, because the cracks aren't coming from tabloids anymore. They're coming from the people who were actually there. Naki's not just some old friend, she's living proof that Meghan Markle had a before, a version that doesn't align with the carefully crafted after. And if one person can speak this loudly, imagine how many more are just waiting. People like Trevor, people from old acting circles, family members who've been estranged, friends who watched their calls stop getting returned once the tiara came into view. That's the part that should terrify Harry. Because right now, Meghan's losing control of the narrative she built. For years, she controlled the script. She decided who got access, who got erased. But the past? It doesn't disappear just because it's inconvenient. Her attempts to bury the past are doing the opposite. Every time someone questions Naki's existence, more people dig. More people find photos, stories, receipts. You can't PR away 30 years of friendship. And think about the future. Archie and Lilibet are little now, shielded from the chaos. But the internet never forgets. One day they'll see the old photos, the interviews, the stories. They'll ask why certain people aren't around, why their mom's past is a battlefield. Meghan might be trying to rewrite the narrative, but the people who lived it, they're still here, and their voices are getting louder. Meanwhile, Harry is stuck in the most uncomfortable silence imaginable, trapped between the woman he chose and the life he abandoned, watching everything he believed in unravel one headline, one viral clip at a time. And the cruel twist? The fairy tale Meghan promised him isn't the one they're living. She told him they'd be bigger than the royal family. Now, instead of global admiration, they're clinging to relevancy with random appearances and failed ventures. The prince who left his palace is now a spectator in a slow-motion train wreck. The public image is cracking, the brand is fading, the whispers are getting louder, and Naki Pretty, the childhood best friend Meghan tried to erase from the story, just blew the first hole in the castle wall. This isn't over, not by a long shot.